So, Corey, there's a question that says, I feel like I've been having a really difficult time trying to romantically connect with women. I feel the same way, but with men, to be honest. It's really hard nowadays to even find someone that you can really connect with, or anybody that would take
What do you mean
any
by
date.
connect with? Like, what's that mean for you? What's that look like?
For me, connection, it has to do with having same if not similar interests, someone who is eager to talk to me and get to know me more, and someone who understands. I guess you could say my love language, but it's more so similarities.
Somebody that you click with, similar goals, similar values.
Yeah. Yeah, obviously there has to be some leeway with differences, but definitely something of similar interests would sounds pretty good. But yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, you got to be with somebody that has similar goals, similar values, and obviously because I know you tend to also tolerate disrespect and tolerate people not reciprocating like they should. But the important thing to understand is just like if you think about who your closest friends are, and whenever you reach out to them, they're typically excited to hear from you. They want to, when you ask them to do things, they're excited to make plans with you. And so, whoever you're going to date, you want to make sure that the enthusiasm and the effort is there and it's there consistently because people can hide who they are for like 90 days. And the reality is, beautiful women are going to have a lot of attention. And if you're not aware or not paying attention, then a guy can be putting on an act. But as the weeks and the months go by, they start to slip a little bit. And then after about 90 days, when they feel like they kind of know you and they're comfortable with you, that's kind of when the real who they really are comes out. Because you spend enough time around them to where you've seen them on their good days, their bad days, their average days, day in and day out, week after week, month after month. And they can maintain the facade for a short period of time. That's why you always want to remain objective. But you got to make sure the other person is making a mutual effort and their words and their actions are a match. Somebody who says one thing and does another, well, you got to look at what their actions actually do. Because lots of people, I mean, I've learned at this point in my life, most people suck, and most of the people you're going to encounter in life are just bullshit artists. They'll say things that they don't mean because they're trying to kiss your ass, or they want something from you, or they're just trying to, tell you what you want to hear. But you have to look at what people do as a true reflection of their intentions. If they care, they'll take the time and they'll show you to make you feel special. Kind of like what you've talked about, like your dad does for your mom. He always goes out of his way to continually, after all the years they've been together, make your mom feel special and like she is his special girl.
Yeah, back to what you were saying, I don't really tolerate disrespect. I call that person out actually. But just because someone's nice doesn't mean they tolerate disrespect. It's one thing to be nice and it's another to be nice and have some kind of respect. You ask someone for that kind of respect, but I don't always tolerate disrespect. I've
Don't
called people out
don't
before.
take your weakness for or your kindness for being weak.
Yeah. It's usually, I don't, you know that you've done me dirty when I get really upset. Like I said, I call people out, but I don't
When you
always
go full
tolerate
Cuban on 'em,
disrespect. I don't always tolerate disrespect. So I'm pretty quiet most of the time, but that doesn't mean I don't notice anything.
you always got to speak up consistently because you can't like 5 out of the 6 times set and enforce healthy boundaries and then let them slide in the sixth one.
Yeah.
Because you do in the sixth one, then it's not a big deal.
I
And then
usually
they do it
just,
more.
I usually just like to stay out of trouble, but if it gets to the point that it gets super annoying, yeah, I'm gonna do something about it.
I want to add a little more into this question because what I'm seeing is romantically connect with women. And the way I see it is it could be physical and it could be emotional. But the way I want to see it right now is like physical and emotional, like mixed in together because I feel like I've been having trouble. I don't know if it's because I already been through a couple of rodeos of like love. They say
Yeah.
you get 3 loves in your life and after that it becomes super hard, like true loves. And I feel like I went through my third one like recently, who? Pretty sure everybody knows
No,
who
yeah,
by
I
now.
feel the same way because a lot of people aren't like. It just so happens that unfortunately we run into people who aren't like emotionally available, and it's just really hard. It's because like I understand when it comes to a really bad relationship, like a prior relationship, it gets really difficult because I've been in those situations as well, but at the same time that's one of the reasons why I get so discouraged and have this distorted view of relationships, because nobody is emotionally available, and then
Most
once
people
they
suck.
are,
That's the thing, because you guys are both young. I mean, I'm 52 now, and so I got more decades of adulting, if you will. And so when you have many decades, you kind of start to see the ebb and flow of life and how most great things take time. And, you know, you're going to turn 25 in a few months, and you've had 3 guys that you really felt were great loves, but you know, in reality, you're not with any of those guys because they didn't treat you the way you want to be treated consistently. And that's part of growing. Is that like one of the things that Gracie said, it was so true in one of the videos we did. She says it's the people that don't give you what you want that teach you what's most important to you. And so for you, and based on your background, when a guy is not showing up completely, that feels normal to you because you've been emotionally conditioned where the masculine presence in your life is just not consistently there. And so when you meet a guy that you really like and he's not consistently there, he's not consistently making the effort, that feels normal to you. And so a normal relationship, when the guy is there, his words and actions match, there's the potentiality that you get into a relationship with that guy and you're not used to it. It doesn't feel normal because you're used to wanting love but not getting that love. And so you got to recognize that when the person's actions are not matching their words, you got to call them out in a loving way and tell them what you need, and explicitly, because us guys, we're like dogs. You got to say step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. You can't give an example about something and expect most guys to go, oh, I know what she's talking about, like you would with one of your girlfriends, who would know exactly what you're talking about. With a guy, you literally got to give him a roadmap, and you got to give him specific action steps that, because we want to make you happy. And if you'll tell us what you need to make you happy, or like what your love language is, then we'll do those things because we're going to take credit for it. If you're happy, we did that.
Yeah.
And if you're not, then we feel like a failure.
My trouble is I have tried recently to, develop something new with someone, and they're giving everything like what they should, what I wanted from my last partner. But even then, I just feel like I've already been through like 3 rodeos that now each new person it's becoming harder for me to actually like develop those feelings.
No, yeah, same here.
Romantically.
Why is he too nice? Is he too predictable? Does he try too hard? Does he call you too much? Like, what percentage would you say he contacts you first versus you reaching out to him first?
Definitely him more.
Like, what percentage?
Say like a 70.
He's doing 70% of it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So at some point, probably in the near future, you're going to friend zone him or dump him and go, there's no chemistry, there's no spark, something's missing.
Yeah.
You're already talking about your feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Because women don't care how much the guy likes them. They care about how they feel about you.
Mm-hmm.
And so what's happening is he's pursuing you too much. And part of being able to connect with women is you got to be able to connect with yourself first. You really got to get to the place where you love being alone. You love spending time by yourself, and you can have a blast taking yourself to lunch or a movie or sitting at home or laying out by the pool, getting some sun or whatever. And when you get to a place where you really genuinely have a good time by yourself and you don't feel like you're missing anything if you don't have friends there or you don't have a girl there or a significant other, then, because you come together to share your completeness, not to complete one another. And like in your case, if the guy was sending me an email that's dating you and telling me that he's pursuing you 70%, and I'm doing a phone session, and because he's wanting to get you back, I already know before he tells me the story that there was no chemistry, there was no spark, the feelings weren't there, and so you either friend zoned him or dumped him. And when a guy tells me, oh, it was 50-50, I was like, you got friend zoned at some point. Because there's no sexual polarity. And the reality is feminine energy seeks the masculine strength. That's why you guys do your nails and your hair, and you try 10 different outfits on or 20 different outfits before a date or whatever, is subtly that what gets us guys interested is your physical features. Oh, wow, she's hot. I'm going to go talk to her.
Mm-hmm.
But the beauty on the outside is what causes us to come over and approach you. And what comes out of your mouth when we start asking questions, and the tone of your voice and your enthusiasm to talk to us, or your dismissive attitude, like get the hell out of my face, I would never go out with you kind of attitude. It's like you have to gauge all these things. And if you love yourself and you value yourself and you have a great time by yourself, you're only going to spend time with people that make things better. You know, it says, the old saying goes, I don't know who said it, but it goes like this: it's better to be alone than in bad company.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So it sounds like you're dating a nice guy. He's seen a little too much, feminist propaganda. Got to talk about your feelings more. Got to let her know how much you care.
Mm-hmm.
And so what happens is, it's a scientific fact that women are more attracted to men whose feelings are unclear. And he's really clear, a little too clear.
Mm-hmm.
So you never really have the space away from him to wonder about him. On like days you might wake up and you're like, oh, we just spent the weekend together. I don't really feel like talking to him, but I think I want to go hang out with my friends or lay out by the pool.
Yeah.
And yet he's texting you or calling you, wanting to see how your day's going.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, yeah, I think I'll text him later.
And then they get mad if you don't want to see them, or like they think something's wrong, and you're just like,
is he saying that already?
I just want time by myself.
Yeah.
Like you said, I enjoy my time a lot. And for this person that I was talking to, it was like being alone too much wasn't, he considered not healthy. Like you need to be with people, you need to socialize, you need to get out of your head, talk to people. And I'm like, I enjoy my alone time. Like I like just cleaning, just laying in my bed, going to the pool, like you said, and tanning.
He's needy.
And I'm just like, it's good. Like it's
Those
good,
are kind of a little annoying, the needy ones.
Yeah, he's needy.
Yeah, so
he's not comfortable because he's constantly trying to find out where he stands with you, because he doesn't understand obviously what's in the book. Because I can just tell by the way he's acting. Most guys don't know this. That's why it says 3% man and not 97% of men. And so for you got to find a guy that has the balance. That has the balance of what the one guy had, but there's enough of what the new guy has to where there's a balance, to where he's maybe pursuing you 20 to 30% of the time. And so when you start to doubt, maybe he doesn't like me. Maybe he's seeing somebody else. And then that's when he texts you or calls you back or whatever. He says, I miss you. I want to see you. What are you doing? Let's get together. I want to see your face. And so you're dating a guy that's not balanced in his masculine energy, and you got to learn to recognize. That's why I've been telling you to read the damn book.
So are you saying there's still hope, even though I've had my 3 loves, that a 4th one is possible?
It really doesn't, like, on my end, I feel like there's no hope. But yeah, I just want to hear what Corey has to say on that, too.
I just feel like such a discourage. Like, it just gets so hard, I feel like. I guess the heart gets more guarded in a way that you kind of just don't let yourself go.
It's because you feel like nobody, like the last person you're with, you feel like there's no one out there that you're going to have the same connection.
Same feeling, yeah.
Yeah.
I think 3 is kind of an arbitrary number. I think there's like not just 3. I don't think it's a set in stone kind of number. It's just going out there and finding it. I feel like if you limit yourself to 3, then you're only going to be stuck with 3. But if you say, hey, maybe 6, maybe 9, maybe 12, then there's more options. There's not that self-limiting. It's like we're always ever changing. Like every 7 years, every single cell in your body is a new cell. So basically every 7 years, you're a whole new person.
Yeah,
that's true. And
also with Caroline and I, what I've noticed with the both of us is that after our, I guess, dating woes, like, we don't want to go with just any person, especially, like, we're also those types of girls that we don't
raising your standards,
yeah.
too, because also you're hearing me bloviate all the time, whether you realize or not, that stuff it's seeping in. Just like with Gracie and Walker, Jen's been listening to me for 7-8 years every day, basically, whether it's videos or articles, and she's been teaching her daughters that. And so when they come and sit in on this, it's like, and then like, especially like when you watch the videos that I did with Gracie, it's like, listen to her talk, sounds like me talking, because she knows this stuff. It's part of her mindset. And, both of you, your standards have changed. And so you got to recognize is that you moved away from the guy that wasn't giving you enough attention, and now this guy's giving you too much attention because he's needy. And you have to recognize that the guy's imbalanced in his masculinity. He doesn't have his shit together yet. So it's an improvement because he's doing more of what you didn't get from the other guy, but it's like the pendulum swung way back the other way.
Yeah.
And so you have to recognize that this guy doesn't have his shit together. And instead of spending several weeks or several months dating him where you start to catch feelings, is that you need to be able to nip it in the bud and recognize that there's another bus every 15 minutes. Because every day you stay engaged with somebody that's needy or imbalanced is part of what you just said is, oh, it's over for me. I'm almost 25 now and I haven't found the right guy. It's never going to happen. And so that's your belief. And then you stay involved with somebody that it basically becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. He's not strong enough and masculine enough and centered enough to be the man that you need him to be to totally dominate you and make you feel safe, make you feel comfortable, where you can just be your beautiful feminine self and let go and trust his leadership.
It's just going to make me angry every day.
Yeah.
That's why I couldn't handle it.
Plus, we wouldn't want to go with the first person that gives us attention either.
Yeah. Like, I know, like, what I deserve, and it's not like, I know some girls that, like, they just get, they've never been treated well, and the little box of chocolates are like, oh my God, he got me a box of chocolates, he loves me, he's so good to me, but it's just like, come on, girl, like, that's the bare minimum, you know what I mean?
That's what they do to bait you.
Yeah.
Well, not always, but that's the really tricky part about us women, that a guy who's trying to get our attention would at first treat us like with box of chocolates and stuff, and then next thing you know, they treat us like crap. But that's not always the case. But that's the thing with us, that we kind of have to take that risk to see if they actually do maintain that action or not.
Yeah.
Because I've had that happen to me. So
you guys have a knowledge gap that you need to fill in, because you got to get better at pre-qualifying your dating prospects. And so what's happening is you're going out on dates with guys that after 2 to 3 dates, you should be giving them their walking papers.
Yeah. I feel like in Miami, there's not that many options anymore.
Nope.
So it's just
how often
like,
do you meet a new best friend?
never, I don't even have one.
Well, how often do you meet somebody that becomes a close friend?
Not usual.
I mean,
It almost never
years
happens,
ago,
right?
for me.
Yeah.
So think about it from this perspective. If you met somebody every day who was just like the perfect guy, and same thing for guys, every day you could walk down the street and it could be love at first sight, and you could have a magical afternoon of passion and sex and a great day, and then you never see or speak to him again. You would totally take it for granted, and nobody would have any lasting relationships. That's why close friends or significant others are so hard to come by. Like I said, in my experience, you get about 1 to 3 a decade that you really click with. And I'm not talking about somebody that you click with, but that treats you like shit or doesn't have their act together. So what's happening is you guys are spending way more time with guys that, quite frankly, don't deserve your time and attention. You got to be able to move on to the next.
Yeah. I agree with you. I think our standards are through the roof right now.
Yeah.
As they should be, though.
Yeah, that's why, like I said, I'm very picky this time. I really don't want to go with someone like the first person that gives me attention.
But you got to read the book. Read the book, learn the skills, because you become better at discernment. And you also understand better what to look for. So you can recognize the behaviors from a guy that actually has his shit together.